thanks to everyone's support during the donothon back in June, one of the things that we unlocked was a stream where I would realistically rank all of my fictional crushes. If you don't know this about me, hi, my name's B. I simp for a lot of fictional characters. A lot of them are, weirdly enough, men. I'm a lesbian in real life. I don't like men in real life. But fictional ones. Absolutely. So, lesbian. So, I don't know what it is. I love me a fictional man. I don't want one in real life, though. So glad that got a laugh. It was really good. So, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I've put together a little presentation for you all, where I will be being super critical and asking myself the hard question of, if this man were real and if I were attracted to men in real life, would I date this man? So, that is what we are doing today. I don't have really any other things other than that. So, what we're going to do is we are going to hop on over here, and I'm going to put myself over here, and I need to move. I'll keep the music on because I don't mind it being on, but I am going to move this like down here so you all can see the presentation. So, I put together a little something for you all, where we will be talking about my fictional crushes, and we're gonna we'll just hop into it, you know. So, hi, welcome to the would-be date that fictional man stream, where I talk about my favorite fictional characters and the crushes I have on them, and ask myself the hard question of, would I realistically date that man if they were a real person? So, to lay out some ground rules and some, like, information to know beforehand, when I was looking at the characters that I love, I found that the types of characters I fall for kind of end up in these sort of categories, which are the grieving, stoic, quote-unquote, grumpy guy, the yearning golden retrievers, and then also the charming liars. And that was just a common theme that I noticed amongst a lot of them, that they sort of fall under these three categories. Also, there's a secret fourth category. I didn't put it up here, but there's a secret fourth category, and that is they look like Jesus. And you will see that for a lot of them as we go through this stream. So, to lay out some of the ground rules of like how this is gonna work, I've got a bunch of characters in these next couple slides. And I want to talk a little bit about them, especially if you've never heard of them or you want to know a little bit more. We're gonna chat a little bit about each of the characters and talk a bit about their lore, some of their traits that they hold, some habits they have, and then I will share if I will date that character if they were a real person or not, and then explain why I would or would not. I'm gonna wait until the ad is done, so we'll give it a little bit. I know it's gonna be starting here soon, so we'll let that go over. But yeah, I really liked doing this because it allowed me to reacquaint myself with the character's lore. For some of these characters, I have not interacted with their franchise, their fandom in a while. So there were some things about them that I needed to like reacquaint myself with, of like especially their like tendencies and how they are perceived. I also consume a lot of like fan content. So like fan fiction, fan art, um everything like that. And the fandom and the characters' fans portray them in a different way. So I wanted to make sure that I was accurately portraying them, how they actually are in their respected franchise. So it was nice just to reacquaint myself with the lore, and the habits of each of these characters. And some of these characters I am like, they're pretty like new in my, I will say they're new in my life. So it was interesting to look at their lore and explore it a little more, because I like had a base level knowledge of them, of like their what they've been through, their struggles and whatnot. So it was nice to like get to read more about them, and there were definitely some characters I read more about than others, and you might be able to guess which ones those are. Um, so yeah. Also, like, just as like a forewarning, just because I say I won't date these characters doesn't mean they're bad characters. This is just me being realistic. I know my preferences when it comes to dating, what I look for in a partner and what I don't want in a partner. Oh, thank you for giving Gale a snack. He really appreciates that. You're never going to see that magical artifact again. Sorry to interrupt. No. Gale needed the snack. It's fine. It's so good. Thank you. But yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad characters. That's just, I know what I like, and I can be delusional and yearn for fictional characters, but they are very different when when they become actual people. So, and this is all not speculation, but like, this is me, my opinion. Everyone has their own opinion about these characters, so do with that as you will. Okay? Just putting that forewarning out there. Before we get into, let me back up again a bit. So I tried to keep this to be my one favorite character in these respective franchises. There are other characters in the franchise I really like, but I wanted to keep it to like the main one that I really love. So I did do a little bit of like an honorable mentions section before we really hop into the characters. So I don't have like detailed notes about these guys, but I can give you a little bit of a, hey, here's why I'm saying this about these characters. So if we go to our honorable mentions, I gave them a quick yes or no, just based off top my noggin. If this character were real, would I actually date them? And I did put in alphabetical order. So going from left to right, Alhaitham from Genshin Impact. I don't think I would date Alhaitham from Genshin Impact. He is very blunt and doesn't really show emotion when it comes to things. And I don't really like that. So I don't think we would really get along. So I gave him a quick, like, without going back too much into his own lore, I just said, no, I don't think so. Alhaitham's a great character. I don't think I would date him. He's too pretentious, stick up ass man for he's very smart, and he knows he does a good job, but he's just not for me. So I said I would not date Alhaitham. Gohan from Dragon Ball might be a weird character for me to talk about, but let me explain. Gohan, from what I remember, Gohan was my first fictional crush. I remember watching Dragon Ball Z when I was young. That was like besides Pokemon. I don't count Pokemon because Pokemon was like very mainstream. in terms of like children's cartoon space. But Dragon Ball was like the first anime besides Pokemon that I really watched. It was Dragon Ball Z to be particular. And I remember Kid Gohan being kind of annoying, but then like adult Gohan, even like teen Gohan, I was like, whoa, he's kind of cute. So Gohan was my first fictional crush, and I would absolutely date Gohan. Reading about like a bit more about his lore, even though he is the son of Goku, who is like the strongest Saiyan ever. He prefers not to fight anymore, and he is super duper smart. He only will fight if it means he's protecting like a loved one, which I really like. So I think he's really cute. He's very sweet, very dorky. I would absolutely date Gohan from Dragon Ball. He's very cute. So a nice little callback right there to my first fictional crush that I can remember as a kid. So absolutely yes to Gohan. Mateo from Date Everything. Mateo was one of the first characters that I really like. That Mateo hit me. And I was like, whoa, I really like this guy. He's really cute. I would absolutely date Mateo. If you don't remember our Date Everything playthrough, Mateo is the blanket, and he basically runs like what is the equivalent of like like an animal shelter where he cares for what they call the inanimals. So there's like a cat that's made up of different wires. There's like a dog that's made of like patches. And when you realize Mateo, he goes on to like, I think he makes like a traveling shelter where he like travels the world and like helps animals in need. And like, I love that. So absolutely I would date Mateo from Date Everything. I love Mateo. Mateo is also voiced by the same actor. I think it's Ben. I can't remember his last name. But he voices Kaveh in Genshin. So I love Mateo. So absolutely would date Mateo. Neuvillette. I love Neuvillette so much. That is my Hydro Archon. And I fell in love with Neuvillette because he is depicted so often with the otters that were in Fontaine. Realistically, I would not date Neuvillette. And the reason for that is Neuvillette being the Udex and now given the position of Hydro Archon, Neuvillette doesn't really people very well. From what I read on the lore, he doesn't quite understand human emotion, and he's kind of aloof and a little confused by humans still. And he relies a lot on the oratrice to like make decisions, and very much like will bring things to justice. And you know what? He's a beautiful man. I don't think I would date him though, because the fact that he doesn't quite get human emotions was like, I'd be a little hesitant to date him. Also, like, if he relies on justice and like the oratrice to like make decisions, I would like you to make your own decisions. Neuvillette, you're still great. I love you. But I don't think I would date Neuvillette. I'll leave him for Risley, you know? Risley can have him. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't really want Risley either. Risley can have Neuvillette. So, then the final honorable mention is Teddy from Date Everything. I love Teddy from Date Everything. He is so soft, so sweet, not just because he's my teddy bear, but he is so calming and gentle, and I really love that. I don't remember if I cried over Teddy. I really can't remember. But I loved the fact that his whole like nighttime thing was he would read you bedtime stories, and that's just so sweet. And he's just such a nice guy. And when he is realized, I believe he goes on to, he had a TV show where he would give people advice, but now he just frequents a cafe, and he will just talk with people and like hear their stories and whatnot. And he's just so sweet. I really like him. So I would date Teddy from Date Everything. So these were the characters where it's like I have such strong feelings for them, but I didn't have I have stronger feelings for other characters in their respective franchises. So I wanted to highlight those. But I did want to give these guys like a quick little mention of like I love them, they're great, but they're not like my top favorites. I think I have, let me think. I think we have 6 characters that we're going to talk about today besides these guys. So I'm gonna start off with a character that is not from a video game. So it's a character I don't really talk about that often, but it's a character that I've really liked for a while. And that's Aizawa from My Hero Academia. I love Aizawa from My Hero Academia. I started watching the show when I moved back in 2023, and I saw Aizawa and I was like, ooh, let me bark for that man. He is so great. So because he's not in any video game, I thought I would give a little bit of an explanation about him if you've never seen My Hero. Let me just adjust so I can read my little blurb here. So if you've never seen My Hero, it's basically about these kids who go to a high school for heroes. Everyone is born with a special ability, but the main protagonist, he doesn't have one, and it's like this whole adventure for him. So Aizawa is also known as the pro hero Eraserhead. His quirk is erasure. So what he can do, he can basically quote unquote erase the abilities of his opponent. He has to be looking at them, and the hold that he has on them stops when he blinks. So he has this his goggles that he wears to protect his eyes. But he is also the homeroom teacher for the main cast of characters in the show. The thing with him is he is very stern and reserved, and can often come across as cold, apathetic, and impatient. And we see that a lot with his students. But going back to when he was growing up, Shota also went to the same high school that the show is set in. He was very introverted, and he didn't really see his quirk as something that he could ever be a hero with, because it was just like, oh, I stop people from using their power. Like, what kind of hero is going to do that? But he made some friends who really helped him come out of his shell. Sadly, one of those friends was killed in an attack that it was a mission that they were both on, and his friend died in front of him. And so the grief that he had from his friend dying basically propelled him to dedicate his life to be a hero, because he wanted to be helpful to others and to make sure that that doesn't happen to anyone else again. Also, because of his grief, he did develop these sort of solitary tendencies, where he would prefer to work alone. He prefers to be by himself. He's very quiet. The thing in the show is if you've seen anything with the show, he is often seen in his yellow sleeping bag, and that was something that developed after his friend had died, was like him just napping in his sleeping bag. So because he was dedicating so much time to being a hero and he was so tired. So jump ahead. Now he's working at UA. He has this reputation at the start of the show where he has extremely high expectations for his students, and he puts them through such rigorous training and basically pushes them beyond their limits. And he does this for a particular reason, which we'll talk about in a bit. But despite him being seen as like this scary hard ass of a teacher, he does genuinely care about his students, and he will go through great lengths to protect them. And he's not like, even though he's very stern and reserved, he's not like completely devoid of joy and happiness and humor. Especially like when his students impress him by their actions, or when there's just one episode where they're doing this training and he manages to trick two of his students that are basically sparring with him, and it makes him smile. So whenever he gets those moments on the students, you can see him crack a smile, and it's really great. So all that to say, would I actually date Aizawa, going through all of these traits of his? Would I actually date him? I said, yeah, I would actually date Aizawa. The reason that he is so hard on his students is because he doesn't want them to end up like his friend who died. He knows how dangerous the pro hero life is, and he really tries to instill that in his kids super early on, of like, you're not playing games here. This is dangerous work. You can die out there, and I need you to understand that so you don't go getting yourselves killed. And he really wants them to go on to live long and happy lives, which is something that his friend didn't get to do. So he really does care. It's just there's such like this rough exterior that he has to put up to, keep everyone safe, and also just from his years of grief. But like deep down, he really does care, and throughout the show, he has repeatedly put himself in harm's way to protect his kids. And he's also been shown as super nurturing, and as this sort of like parental figure for his students, and also one character that he takes temporary guardianship over. So I love that, like, he's seen as like this big scary guy who like doesn't fucking care, but like he really, really does deep down. You just got to get past the rough exterior. And also the fact of like his grief did shape his life into how he is today, and like how he's moved through the whole show. But it also shows like the other side of your grief might not be like super bright and sunny and amazing and everything that it could possibly be. But even if it is like not, it's like, even if the life on the other side of your grief is hard and scary, it's still a life worth living. Which I really love, that sentiment of, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, but that doesn't mean that your life is any like less worth living. You gotta get through the bad days to see the good days. Also bonus points for him because he loves cats. He has been shown like wearing cat merch, and also he has been shown to like nurture and care for stray cats. And there's like official art of him playing with cats. It's so cute. That's so bonus points for that. I love a man who loves cats. Hi, Torga. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well, my dear. But yeah, I would date Shota if he was a real person. It would. You gotta get through the rough exterior first, but I think we could make it work. So yeah, that's Aizawa. I love him very much, and would date him. This next one, I'm gonna give a spoiler right now. If you haven't finished Expedition 33, you might need to mute or pause, because we're gonna talk about Expedition 33, and we're getting into spoiler territory. So this is your disclaimer, your warning now that we're going to have some spoilers about Expedition 33. Because the next character we're talking about is Verso from Expedition 33. I love Verso so much. Whoa, he's a beautiful man. But spoilers, again, for Expedition 33, if you have not finished the game, this is your spoiler warning right now. I'll give you a couple seconds. You have been warned. So, if you haven't played Expedition 33, Verso is one of the main protagonists that you can play in the game. In the game, Verso was painted by the paintress, and he is the mirror version of the real-life late son of Renoir and Aline, and the brother to Alicia and Clea. So, again, spoilers for Expedition 33. I'm trying to give you guys so many warnings. I love this game so much. Warning, spoilers. In Expedition 33, the way that this game works is you are in... This game is... Oh my god. Okay, hold on. The game is basically the story of a family. This family are very famous painters. Their paintings have the ability to create whole worlds within them. Thus, this is one of the worlds that was made in a painting. Verso, that is in the game, was painted into this canvas. He was basically mirrored off of the real Verso from this family. Verso was one of their kids. You had Renoir and Aline, the parents. You had Verso, Alicia, and Clea. Verso dies in a house fire, which Alicia blames herself for. So, Aline, aka the paintress, paints Verso into this canvas, basically giving him another life. Let me set that that reference there. This Verso has all the memories of his real life version, but they're separate. So, this Verso, he is introduced to us as this stranger with unknown origins. He has been here since the beginning, since Expedition 0, and he has been tracking the expeditions basically every year. So every year, a new group of people goes out to try to learn more about, what's it called? About the continent, and ultimately what they're trying to do is to defeat the paintress, and to stop this yearly gommage from happening. So, Verso has been here since the beginning. He's immortal, and that's because of his tie to the real Verso. He's very observant. He's also very mysterious, and he's also very distant, especially at a first glance. Because he is immortal, he has basically become numb to death and loss. And there's this whole thing that he had with a past expedition where he had fallen in love with a woman in the expedition. She learns he's immortal. She basically commands him to fight she commands him to fight her and the team, the expedition that he was traveling with. And he ends up killing them all. So death and loss have just been following him for forever at this point. The other thing about Verso is that he will take everything on the chin and then bear it alone. He doesn't want anyone getting in on his stuff. He doesn't like being vulnerable in front of people. He is so self-sacrificing. He will just, because he's immortal, he's like, I can't fucking die, so I'm just gonna throw myself into battle. And the biggest thing is he is manipulative in that he lies so much. He is a liar. He does, in the game with Expedition 33, he does not disclose his identity to the expedition. He does not talk about his relation to Renoir, or the Paintress. He doesn't disclose things to Mael about her true nature. He lies about his age. And he's just a liar. I still love him though, even though he's a fucking liar. I still love him. He is such a great character. But now that begs the question of, would I actually date this Verso? The painted version of Verso. Would I realistically date Verso? I would not date this version of Verso. I wouldn't. And again, this doesn't mean Verso is a bad character. He's a fucking amazing character. I know my type. Realistically, I can be delusional for Verso, okay? I can be so delusional and simp for Verso. In real life, don't fucking lie to me about things, okay? Don't lie to me about who you are. I don't like that. I said maybe I would date the real Verso, but we don't know as much about his life outside of the painting. So it's hard to say. I wouldn't be able to handle the constant lying and the dance that Verso does around the truth. And that's just me. I don't like liars. I feel like that's a okay thing to admit, is that I don't like when people lie to me. Verso is very, very protective of his family. Super protective. However, he is willing to sacrifice himself and the painted world around him to save what's left of his real family. Again, spoilers for Expedition 33 if you haven't skipped away by this point. Like, that's on you. The issue that we get into in Act 3 is that they find out that they're in this canvas, that they're in this painted world. Oh my god, I've been spoiled! I warned you guys! They've been in this canvas, they've been in this painted world, and Alicia is basically killing herself by staying in this painted world. Mael is killing herself by staying in this painted world. Renoir is killing himself. Aline is killing herself by staying in this painted world. They all are. If you stay in the canvas for too long, you are slowly killing yourself. So, Verso is willing to kill himself and to destroy the world around him, to destroy the canvas, if that means that Mael lives, if his family lives. And that is like the big choice at the end of the game, is do you destroy the canvas or do you keep the canvas? And I have seen the other ending. I picked, when I played Expedition 33, I chose to destroy the canvas. I said that Verso deserves to rest. Mael deserves to live as herself in the real world, even though she doesn't want to. She deserves to live with her family. Her family deserves to be together. And that she does not need to be slowly killing herself in this painted world. So I chose Verso over her. If you choose the other ending, Verso will plead for his life, not even for his life, he will plead to Mael to kill him. He does not want to live in this painted world. Even though she wants him to, he does not. And he doesn't want to live a tormented life that he has been given. He didn't ask to be in this world. He was put in this world. He didn't ask to be here. And he wants out. He wants to rest. He wants to go. But the paintress and Mael are keeping him here. So he is... So, oh my god. That's why I let the canvas go. Me too, Verso. Me too. I love it. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. So, realistically, I would not date this man, and it's mostly because he's a liar. I would not date Verso if he were a real person. I love him. He's such an amazing character. Realistically, I would not date him if he were real. Because he is a liar. And he is so self-sacrificing. It's dangerous. So, realistically, I would not date Verso. That's Verso from Expedition 33. Next character that we have is actually a newer character in my life who I have come to really enjoy. And I was actually really interested in learning more about their lore. And if you're my friends, you probably know who this is. You shouldn't be surprised. Because it's Hanzo from Overwatch. Guys, I love Hanzo so much. It's, oh my god. Can I talk about this? Can I? Hey, so Hanzo. Let me talk about Hanzo. If you don't know, I have been playing Overwatch for 2 years at this point. As of August, as of this month, I have been playing Overwatch for 2 years, which has been great. I love it. I shouldn't be surprised that I have a crush on Hanzo. He is my type. I shouldn't be surprised by that. Why did it take me 2 years for this crush to hit me like a freight train? Because this is a recent development. I would say within the last, like, month or two. Probably last month. Because he's hot. He is hot. Can't argue with that. Tormented men with gray streaks. What did I say at the beginning of stream? Grieving, stoic, grumpy men was the category. But also tormented man with gray streaks. Also that. Yes. Both, actually. So, if you don't know about Hanzo, I love him. Hanzo is the eldest son to the Shimada clan, who were a clan of assassins who profited off of lucrative trade in arms and illegal substances. It's great. So, because he is the oldest, he was basically heir to the Shimada clan, and he was raised as such, often accompanying his father to, like, business meetings and whatnot, and expected to hold his own and to act in a certain way because one day he is going to lead the Shimada clan once his dad dies. Once his dad is assassinated by the Hashimoto, which is wild because now we have Shion in the game from the Hashimoto, Hanzo is basically put into power, which he's not ready for, and he is expected to take on this new leadership position. Because he was so unprepared to lead the Shimada clan. Uh, they the clan elders basically start like pressuring him into doing things. One of those being, they said, "Hey, your brother Genji, who is he is a little rebellious and not like he's like gonna make us look bad. You need to do something about that. And you need to put him in his place." Hanzo never wanted to do that. He refused to make his brother change his ways. And so the clan elders were like, "Okay, go kill Genji." Which, dude, that sucks. What you gotta go kill your younger brother? Shit, dog. So, after he kills Genji, that basically breaks Hanzo, and he says, "I don't care anymore. I want out. I don't want to be here anymore." He basically turns his back on everything and he leaves. He's like, I don't want this life. And ever since he turned his back on the Shimada clan, he has been like stripped of all of his finances. They were a very wealthy family. Stripped of all of his finances, and he has been basically on the run from assassins repeatedly, who tried to kill him. It is great. And then that's when we get into Dragons, which is the video that we saw in the Overwatch lore reaction, where basically, I think it was the 10th anniversary of Genji's death. Hanzo would sneak back into the Shimada castle, take down the guards, and then go and basically, what's the word I'm looking for? He would like honor Genji's death and like have a little like ceremony for him, and like just for his own like sake of believing his brother to be dead. Hey, his brother isn't dead. Genji shows up at the Shimada castle as well. Him and Hanzo get into a fight, because Hanzo doesn't know it's Genji. He thinks it's just this random ninja who's come to kill him. So he and Genji start fighting, and then as Genji leaves, he calls him brother, and Hanzo realizes that's Genji, that's his brother. And Genji also shares that he has forgiven Hanzo for nearly killing him. He's like, I have moved on, I have found peace, and I have forgiven you. And you need to figure out what side you are on. Hanzo hasn't forgiven himself for what he did to Genji. Because how could you just forgive yourself for nearly killing your brother? After that encounter with Genji, he basically, or not after the fight with Genji, after he kills Genji, he led this life of like solitude and wandering, and he genuinely thought that he needed to be punished for his sins, for his work with the Shimada, for killing his brother. Like, he was like, I need to be reprimanded, like, for my sins. I have done bad. So that's a long and the short of Hanzo's lore. I'm gonna wait for the ad to start and then be done before I talk about if I would date this man. I will say, Hanzo has been so fun to play. Just from a purely gameplay standpoint, I have had so much fun playing Hanzo, and I haven't had this much fun playing a character. I don't even remember the last time. Probably when I started playing Juno, and Juno was my first main. I have been having so much fun playing Hanzo, and I had played him in the past because I knew I had levels on him. Like I at least had him up to level 5 because that's when you get a loot box for like leveling up your characters. Um, so I had played him in the past, and I don't know why it didn't click for me then. But something happened this time around, and my silly little ADHD brain was like, I'm gonna latch onto this character because I had so much fun playing them. Hey, here's a new fictional crush for you, to add to your repertoire. And I said, thanks, brain. I really appreciate that. So I've been having so much fun playing Hanzo. It's been great. Um, Getting a kill as Hanzo is very funny, and I apologize to my friends for whenever I get a kill as Hanzo because every time I get so excited, especially when I hit like a really good shot that I'm like, I'm not gonna hit this, and I end up killing them, and then it surprises me. Um, I've been having so much fun playing Hanzo, and it's gotten to a point where I don't know if this is like a common thing in other like FPS games, especially with like Overwatch, Valorant, maybe even League. I don't know if that's a thing. But like you have your main that you like to play. So like my main I would consider is Juno. Uh, Bookie's main is Lifeweaver. Kenny's main is Sombra. And like when you play, like whenever me and my friends are playing and we're like, who are we gonna play, we'll joke and we'll be like, all right, I'm gonna play Bookie, and then they pick Lifeweaver, or like, all right, I'm gonna play Kenny, and it's Sombra. It's now gotten to a point where I have been playing so much Hanzo. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do Bee Simulator, and it's playing Hanzo, and I love that. I love that that's become a thing now. It's so great. And it's funny because he's not my main. I just have a lot of fun playing him. My main is still Juno. I love her very much. If you don't know, I am a Juno, Mercy, Kiri. Those are my top 3 heroes. I would like Hanzo to get up there. I'm a support main, so it's probably not going to get terribly far, but also the thing with playing Hanzo recently, I don't like queuing DPS. I never liked queuing DPS. Once I learned like recently how to play Hanzo, I've been willingly queuing DPS. And that's been so fun. So like it's been giving me a reason to play DPS. So, now that we're back from the ad, would I realistically date Hanzo? If Hanzo were an actual character in the real life, would I date Hanzo? Yeah, I would date Hanzo. The thing with Hanzo is he is still so consumed by his grief, and he doesn't think he's worthy of forgiveness, of love, of compassion, or redemption. And it's so hard because the one that he has hurt the most has forgiven him, and he has said to his face, I have forgiven you. You need to move on. We are okay. But Hanzo in himself, he's like, I can't forgive myself yet. And as someone who has gone through her own grief, it's when you are in the grief headspace, it is so hard to see the other side of it and to even fathom that there is a bright side to the other side of your grief. So like I resonate with that a lot with Hanzo on a different level because I haven't killed anyone. FBI agent watching. I've not killed anyone. Hanzo did though. But it's so hard to see the bright side to life. You haven't? I haven't. I promise. What, are you a cop? It's so hard to see the bright side to life when you are so consumed by your grief. I think he is slowly coming back around on forgiving himself, but that is such a massive wound that it needs so much time to heal. And ultimately, it's up to Hanzo if he is going to let the wound heal. And I think I was listening to something recently where someone, I can't remember if it was someone on like the dev team or someone like someone who just enjoys Overwatch, but they were talking about Hanzo, and they're like, the fact that you can look at Hanzo and you can either see him as a hero or a villain is really interesting, because you don't a lot of the characters are black and white like that, where they're clearly a villain or they're clearly a hero. And Hanzo's this one character where it's like he could be either or, depending on how you want to look at him. And I think that's really cool that it's ultimately in his hands what the next steps are. And I think there are a couple of times where, especially with talking with Genji, Genji's talking, like saying, you need to pick a side. And he's putting the ball in his court of like, you have to choose. I can't choose this for you. You need to figure out what your next steps are. And I think at this point in the lore, Hanzo has gone back to Tokyo to help Kiriko and the yokai save Genji from the Hashimoto. We got that with Mizuki's lore, and Shion's lore. So I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, Hanzo, Kiri, and Genji are all together, like all working together in Tokyo. And Mizuki has decided to go to Overwatch. I think that's where we're at in the lore as of this moment in 2026. So, I think he is slowly coming back around to forgiving himself. It's just going to take a lot of time for that. And I think I don't think he's a bad person. I think he is a person who has had bad things happen to him. And a lot of that was forced upon him, being the heir to such a dangerous clan. The leaders of the clan, or the elders of the clan, basically forcing you to kill your brother. There have been so many moments where he has been pushed into a position that he didn't want to be in. And I don't think that makes him a bad person. I think that means that bad things have happened to him, and he has had to do bad things that he didn't want to do. So, I also included this voice line in this interaction that we've gotten between Sierra and Hanzo. I think I heard this recently, and now that I'm playing Hanzo, I hear it a lot more. But it's this voice line from Sierra. She says, the first year without my mom, it was really hard. I didn't open up for a while. Hanzo says, I did not have the luxury of time to grieve. My family needed my strength. Sierra says, and now they're grown. When it comes to feeling your feelings, it's better late than never. Hanzo says, I will keep that in mind. So Sierra's basically saying, things are okay right now. Genji is safe. You are safe. And you didn't have time to grieve your father's death when he died. Because it was basically, their dad died. They had no time to grieve before Hanzo was thrust into the leadership position. So Sierra is basically saying, you are safe. Genji is safe. You can feel your feelings right now, and that's okay. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. It doesn't matter what's happened. You are allowed to feel your grief. And I think Hanzo saying, I will keep that in mind, and the way he says it, I think he's a little more receptive to that feedback, that he would seriously consider it. So I would date Hanzo. I think he is really charming and he cares. It's just, he's had a very hard life, and he really, I think if anything, he needs the love and compassion and kindness more than anyone to show that he is a good person and that he can live a good life. He doesn't have to, what's the word I want to use? He doesn't have to, like, continue to, like, reprimand himself like this. You know what I mean? What's even the point of being the head of a clan of assassins if you still can't decide who to kill? This is very true. Listen, he's also the fact like he was the head of it and they were like, go kill your brother. And he was like, I don't want to do that. And they were like, you gotta, because we say so. He's also young. I don't know how old he was. He's what? Now he's 40, I think, was the last thing I saw. But there was a 10-year difference between when he kills Genji and then when Dragons happens. Beat himself up? Yeah, I couldn't think of the word there. But yeah, Hanzo deserves a good life. And he deserves to be happy. He deserves to be cared for. He deserves to be loved. I commented now he's 40, but... Hi Ashley, how you doing? Welcome on in. I hope you're well. We are realistically ranking all of my fictional crushes. It's great. For a quick recap, up to this point, not including my honorable mentions, Shota Aizawa from My Hero Academia, I would date. Verso from Expedition 33, I would not date. And then Hanzo from Overwatch, I would date. Where am I on the rank? You're not fictional. You are real. That's a different list that I have not created. Damn, really? Yeah, I've met you in person. You are real. You're real to me. I forgot. I hope you're doing well, my dear. I hope all is good. But yeah, I would date Hanzo. That's a beautiful man right there. Next one that we have is a classic. A fan favorite, if you will. It's Gale from Baldur's Gate 3, obviously. I took this photo. I talked about this earlier. I took this photo when I was in my Baldur's Gate 3 phase, and was super into, like, virtual photography, especially in Baldur's Gate. I took this photo, and it's one of my favorite photos of Gale. Yeah, that's my husband. Don't boo that man. I love that man. In a normal relationship, Hanzo forgets to take out the trash 1 week and spends a year performing trash-related penance. No. Poor guy. Can I also say, there's a really amazing artist I found who does, like, they do a lot of Overwatch art. And I really want to get art done of, like, my VTuber and Hanzo and, like, our little dragon pals. Because, like, he has his little dragons. I'm not talking about his dick. But he has, like, his dragon companions that are in his ultimate. And the way that they draw the little dragons are so cute. And it's like, I want Pax to have some friends, some other dragon friends. That'd be so cute. So I'm like, I'm thinking about it. It's very adorable. That's what I call them. Shut up. Oh, anyway, we got Gale, fan favorite. That's my husband right there. Dragon D. No. Damn it. But we got Gale from Baldur's Gate 3. Gale of Waterdeep. Gale Dekarios. I'm gonna smooch this man so much. If you don't know about Baldur's Gate 3 and you don't know about my love here, Gale is a human wizard who is a prodigy in magic and is super, super fucking talented at being a wizard. And he has so much ambition in life. He wants to know everything. He wants to learn so much about magic. And I love him. He's so great. He was once Mistress Chosen. And that's... was a rocky relationship between him and a god. They were lovers at one point. And you know, as the many gods do with their lovers, she kind of dismissed him and cast him aside, as they do. He wants to know what love is. He wants you to show him. Oh my gosh. Gale is super determined to like prove himself to Mistra still, to show that he is worthy of her. But because of that, he kind of got himself in a little bit of a sticky situation. And by a sticky situation, I mean he has a bomb in his chest. The only way to quell the bomb in his chest is for him to consume magical items, which is a bitch when you're first learning that mechanic in the game, because he has to consume the magic within these items, and now they are no longer magical. So, trying to figure out how to stop this all-consuming hunger that he has going on because of the time bomb in his chest, and also this tadpole he has in his head, Gale's kind of going through it. He needs to find a way to cure himself of both the cursed and the tadpole in his head from the, oh my god, I was saying it earlier. What's the name of the ship? Oh my god. What's the name of the ship in Baldur's Gate 3? I said it so much at the start of stream. Ah! The Nautiloid. I got it. I said it so many times at the start of stream, I couldn't even remember it. The other thing with Gale, besides him having the tadpole in his head and the time bomb in his chest, he is so prideful and so ambitious. He is known to make mistakes that he has made in the past. Repeatedly. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to that stuff. He's very book smart, not street smart. But the good thing is he can be persuaded and reasoned with out of making bad choices, like killing himself to quell the fucking, what is it called? I can't remember the name of the absolute. To basically, he was gonna kill himself. He was gonna use the bomb in his chest to kill himself and destroy the absolute. And we were able to talk him out of it. But he does have a tendency to repeat mistakes. And he is willing to go above and beyond to do anything to earn Mistra's forgiveness. So Gale's got a bunch of stuff going on here. He really does. He wants to do good. He wants to be seen as a good wizard, a good person. But he has been handed such a bad set of cards. And he feels like he needs to do literally anything, including killing himself, to be seen as worthy. So, with all that being said, between the absolute, the bomb, and the tadpole, it seems like letting him die is a third bird. What? 3 birds, 1 stone situation. No. Oh. I'm not letting him die. I actually had, I don't know if y'all remember this, there was a subathon we did when I was playing Baldur's Gate 3, but it was every time someone gifted 5 subs, I would blow Gale up. Or I would blow Gale up in-game. He wants to be a good boy. He does want to be a good boy. I don't even remember how many times we blew Gale up in-game. I think I have the counter still. Let me see. So the amount of times we blew Gale up in game was 163 times. And that was because of a subathon we did back in like 2024. And I think it was because we were getting ready for this model's debut.
Couldn't agree more. But if you use that knife, I will incinerate you.
Could you excuse me?
Oh, that's my husband. Oh my god, thank you for giving Gale a snack. Oh wow, he really appreciates that. You're never gonna see that magical artifact again. You've almost given, or we've almost given Gale 100 snacks. That's wild. He deserves it. He really appreciates it too. But all that to say, would I date Gale if Gale were an actual person? I don't know if this answer is going to be surprising, guys. Because I absolutely would. Okay, hear me out, guys. Guys, hear me out. Gale, the thing that people don't like about Gale, one of the things that people don't like about Gale, he comes across as super pompous and annoying, and he won't shut the fuck up about Mistra. Those are some of the things that people don't like about him. And if you guys in chat don't like Gale, let me know. Why don't you like Gale? Let me know why. Because that will just add to my reasoning. But despite the way that he talks, and the way that he acts, and the way that he still is not over his ex, he is smart. He is so kind. He is so good of heart. And he is so friendly. And he's always willing to help a friend. Even if it's just to lend them an ear. He cares so much. He cares a lot about what people think about him, but he also cares about his friends. You would date a man with a time bomb in his chest and a chest burster in the head? Yeah, why not? Absolutely. He is so nice. He is so, so nice. He is my golden retriever boyfriend, and I love him very much. Thank you. And the whole thing with Gale, and throughout the game, Gale, if you're romancing Gale, he will do things he feels he needs to go above and beyond to impress you, his lover. And you can absolutely do the things that he is suggesting. You could have very fun space sex with him. It's an option. You can do that. You can bond in the way of, what was it called? It was bond in the way that the gods do, as he calls it. But you can also tell him that I don't need the fancy theatrics. I have you. That's all I need. And I love this one quote from Act 3, from the romance scene you have with him, where one of the lines is, I don't need the stars, Gale, I have you. And, you know, at the last lover that he had up until this point was Mistra, a god. And he thinks he needs to do all these special things for people to love him. And you can show him that he doesn't need to do any of that. One of the things with Gale is he refers to himself as Gale of Waterdeep, because to be a great wizard, you have to have like a really amazing name, a very amazing legacy, but people don't care about the wizard behind the name. People care, like, he wants people to remember Gale of Waterdeep. He thinks that Gale Dekarios is kind of like mundane compared to Gale of Waterdeep. But you can show him that Gale Dekarios is worthy of love and such a good life. And I think that's amazing. Also, honey, you're not ascending to godhood. I don't want you as a god. No. I want you. I don't want you as a god. I refuse the god Gale route. I don't want it. He does want to show you what love is. He does want you to show him. They all do. Surprisingly, they all want to know what love is. The other great thing with Gale is he's super ambitious, but he is not particularly dead set on a particular outcome. Um, you are able to steer him in whatever direction you want him to. So with Gale, um, there is I think it's called the Crown of Karsus or something like that. There's like a very ancient, like a strong and ancient magic that he could tap into to basically um overtake the absolute and ascend to godhood. And he's like, that's something that we could do. So I don't have to kill myself. But I could take over and like ascend to godhood. And that's just one of the things that you can do. You don't necessarily have to do that. So for me in my playthrough with Gale, I tried to steer him down the path of one, you're not fucking killing yourself. Two, you're not ascending to godhood. Three, I love you for who you are. And that's all I need. I just need you. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about the legacy. I don't care about the accolades. I don't care about any of that. I just want you. So, I think we could make it work. Also, every yapper needs someone who will listen to them about their special interest, and Gale will yap your fucking ear off, and I love being the listener and the yapper, so I'm here for that. I think the one thing that will be hard is that it will take some time for him to move on from Mistra and for him to stop beating that dead horse. So we gotta be a little patient with him. But I'm okay with being patient. So I think Gale and I could make it work. Especially by showing him that he is enough and that he doesn't need to be the greatest. He just needs to be himself. So I would absolutely date Gale. Also, with all of these, I would date them. Who's to say the relationship will last? I hope it will, but like, we'll try. But I would absolutely date Gale. I love him. He is very great. All these characters that I love and I would date, they just need to be shown some love and like some care. And I can do that. I got that. It's great. So, that's Gale from Baldur's Gate 3. The next character we have is actually not one character. It's two characters. But you can't separate them. Because it's Eddie and Volt from Date Everything. Eddie and Volt from Date Everything. One, Zooey Mama. Second of all, whoa. This one's wild. So, if you haven't seen or played Date Everything, you know nothing about Date Everything. The way that the game works is that you are given these special sunglasses that have the power to bring any object in your house to life. And there are 100 things that you can date in your house. One of them being your breaker box, which is where we meet Eddie and Volt. They are the personification of electricity, and they operate the breaker box, which is a club in your house with a bar and a talent show. And the thing with these two, this is, I think, one of the most defined polyamory relationships in the game. There are a couple of instances where like characters can be together if you can get them back together or get them together, and then there's these two who are like, they are obviously together. Eddie being current and Volt being obvious. So I think if I remember correctly, Eddie is more of like the actual electrical mechanical side of it. While Volt is more electricity itself. Eddie and Volt used to be one person. It used to just be Eddie. But Eddie was running himself so down and he was so burnt out that his body actually split and he made Volt. It's wild to explain. But Eddie is basically the whole system, whereas Volt is like the electric current. He blew a fuse. Well, that's one of the things we're trying to stop, is so they don't blow a fuse. But I believe they've definitely blown a fuse. So they are two very different personalities, which is wild. So Eddie, who is in this photo on the right with the black hair, Eddie is very closed off and he's very reluctant to ask for help. He has been basically carrying the whole system for forever. So he is very used to just shouldering everything and doing everything on his own. And that's really because he doesn't want anyone to think that he can't do it. So he just takes all of the maintenance on by himself. He doesn't want anyone to help with it. But once Eddie does open up to someone, he is a bit more friendly. He's still pretty sarcastic and a little bit like rough with them. A little snarky. It's kind of cute. I liked pushing his buttons. It was really fun. And giving him the little snarky answers back. So that's Volt. That's Eddie. Volt, on the other hand, who is with the white hair in this photo, he is so like charming and romantic and charismatic, and he loves like being affectionate in person, whereas Eddie doesn't like to show affection in that way. Like Volt will, he'll kiss the back of the player's hand, he'll kiss them on the dance floor, they'll dance together. Eddie does not do that. But we come to learn that Volt is basically putting the spotlight on him to keep up this facade that everything is okay. Because there are problems in the club, and there is very hard to keep maintenance on the club. But he's putting the spotlight on himself to keep eyes off Eddie. He's also super protective of Eddie, and that's because Eddie made him. So he feels like they are one. So he gets super protective of Eddie, and he can get very angry if something appears to be a threat towards Eddie or towards the club. So it's actually like kind of scary. Volt, when he's angry, is really scary. He turns blue and like is just coursing with electricity. It's really scary. But it's clear that they love each other, and if you do get the love ending with them, like they'll absolutely bring you in as their third, which is great. It's really cute. I loved their love ending, and just learning more about them was absolutely amazing. And yeah, they're fun. They're very sarcastic, and like they like to push your buttons, and it's fun to push their buttons back. But realistically, would I date Eddie and Volt if they were real people in the real life? I don't think I would. I don't think I would. Also, it's not a father-son polycule. It's not like a father-son relationship. Even though, like, Volt was born from Eddie, it's not like that at all. It's very much like they're lovers, but not like a weird familial thing like that. That would be a very shocking relationship. Oh, yeah. I would not date Eddie and Volt. And as I was doing some research again on these guys, I forgot that in the data dex, which shares all the information about each dateable, it shares their likes and dislikes. And one of their dislikes is being asked questions. I forgot about that. I'm also very surprised that I didn't fuck up the relationship with them. I had gone back and watched the VOD whenever I was doing stuff with Eddie and Volt. Because I'm like, I'm curious how this went, because I was going in completely unaware of, like, what I was doing and just experiencing the game. There were so many stupid choices I made that I shouldn't have said. I definitely said things to Volt I should not have said because they were not good choices. Volt should have hated me by the choices I made. So I am very surprised that I did not mess up the relationship. I should have. But the big reason why I wouldn't date Eddie and Volt, the most realistically, polyamory is not for me. I don't cool if it's for you, it's really not for me. And that's just my preference. I don't think I could work in a polyamory like relationship. That's just me though. Yeah, that's my preference. So the biggest issues that I have with Eddie and Volt is, one, Volt is stupidly overprotective of Eddie, and it makes it very hard to win Eddie over in the game. And I've seen this with people who've gotten the hate ending, is if you make even one wrong move towards Eddie or Volt, Volt will instantly shut you down and be like, you're done. Like, if you make one mistake, he is done with you. Which is, I'm still very surprised I did not get the hate ending. I feel like I should have. Also, the thing that I said I hate earlier, they are fucking liars. Eddie and Volt lie all the time, and it's to keep up the facade that the breaker box is fine, everything's fine, there's nothing for you to worry about, everything's great. But they lie all the time. And one of the biggest lies that happens in the relationship is with Eddie. So what Volt doesn't know is that you are able to help Eddie make maintenance repairs on the breaker box. You're able to help him out and to get the job done faster. That's one of the routes that you can take. That's the route I took. I helped Eddie do maintenance on the place. But when we agreed to do maintenance with Eddie, he said, you cannot tell Volt that you are helping me. And I was really confused by that, because, like, why wouldn't I? Like, why should I not tell Volt that I'm helping you out? And it's hard because it's like they're lying to each other. Like, Eddie's lying to Volt about things being okay, and then he's asking you to lie to Volt about things being okay. And it's like, I don't like lying. Sometimes you need to lie. For me personally, I don't like when people lie about things. I'd rather you tell it to me straight than lie. And that's just because I have had situations in the past where people have lied to me and said things were okay and things weren't okay, and things fell apart. And again, that's my preference. I don't like when people lie. So.
And now, the lesbian who is
Damn
hyperfixated
liar.
on another fictional white man.
That's messed up. The fact that was the fucking stim that we get as I'm talking about all my fictional crushes. Wild! Also, hi Lord, welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. I will pause for a moment because we are about to hit an ad. But when the lie is our house is up to code, you absolutely do not need the lie. When you can say that things are not okay and that the house is not up to code. Be truthful. It's been a moment. I hope you're doing well. Hope all is good. That's just me. I don't like when people lie. That's me, though. But, yeah, like, the fact that you lied to Eddie, or no, Eddie asked you to lie to Volt. It, like, I'll just talk a little bit about my reaction as the ads going through. It made it really confusing for the relationship. Because I'm gonna be honest, when I played Date Everything, I was initially attracted to Eddie. Eddie is much more my type than Volt is. And this is before I realized that they are a bonded pair. You cannot split them up. I was so attracted to Eddie. Volt was there. So I did not act as nice to Volt as I did to Eddie. And it, like, the way that they were talking about each other, it made it confusing. It made it feel like maybe they weren't good. I don't know how to describe it. But it's like, why should I lie to your partner about what's going on? Like, this feels weird. Shouldn't we be telling them what's up? So it did cause me to make choices, especially towards Volt, that were not great. I remember vividly, towards the end of their story, there's a moment where Volt suggests resetting the power. Eddie was like, I don't want to do that. What if I lose you? And I remember they were talking about the whole dynamic between them, of like what their relationship was. And I remember saying, then what is Volt exactly? It was something along that line of like, what is Volt exactly? And Volt says here and very much like present. Like, and he said it kind of angrily. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to fuck this up. He's going to hate me. So the line just made it really confusing with their relationship. And I'm so fucking confused how I didn't screw up this relationship. How did I do so good on this relationship? But yeah, the biggest thing for me is I don't like the lying for relationships. I don't want to lie to my partners about things. Also, this relationship screams codependency, and like I get why they are so codependent on each other. I get that. Can't do it. Guys, I can't do it. They're codependent, and Volt is so protective of Eddie. And it feels like it feels like I shouldn't be a part of this relationship. You know what I mean? That's why it's also like hard for me like to do, like, I can't be polyamorous. Like, because of the codependency and because of his protectiveness towards Eddie, it feels like I'm not wanted in this relationship. So like I don't even want to try it. I'm good. Hi random, welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. We are doing a realistic ranking of all of my fictional crushes. It's been going great so far. A quick recap, if you're just coming in and you haven't seen the other ones. Not including my honorable mentions. Shota Aizawa from My Hero Academia, I would date. Verso from Expedition 33, I would not date. Hanzo from Overwatch, I would date. Gale from Baldur's Gate 3, I would date. And Eddie and Volt from Date Everything, I would not date. Did you happen to hear about some FNAF related news? No. I know it's been 12 years since FNAF came out. That's all I know, though. What FNAF related news? Is this stuff? The only thing I can think of is like the FNAF 3 movie, because I'm pretty sure that's happening. That's the only thing I could think of, though. But yeah, I don't think I would realistically date Eddie and Volt. It's just not for me. I will be delusional for them. I don't think I could make it work, though. Honestly. They're great. It's not the FNAF 3 movie. What is it? I'm scared now. Hold on, this is very important to me. I love FNAF. Hold on. Let me get some water. The only thing I know about FNAF right now is that 12 years ago, the first game came out. That's all I got. Which is wild. That's already been 12 years. Oh, I don't like that. Ow. That hurts. Now I'm waiting in anticipation for what this FNAF news is. Oh my gosh. But I love Eddie and Volt. They're great. Would not date them, though. Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to find out? Should I go look? I can go look. Let me bring up my blue sky really quick. Let me go find. Hold on. Whoop, can I type? You might have to tell me. I'm not seeing anything. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking for. You could just tell me. I don't mind. I don't know. I looked up FNAF on Blue Sky and it didn't help me. Like, nothing here is making sense. Oh, gosh. Tried. I also did see recently that Markiplier did finally beat 1020 mode in FNAF 2. Because people found out that he didn't actually do it when he played it the first time. They're apparently opening a real-life Freddy Fazbear location in 2027? Oh, where? Where is it gonna be? And I need to know so I can plan a road trip accordingly. Please let it be the East Coast. In Jersey? Random. Do you want to... Random. Do you want to go to the Five Nights at Freddy's in New Jersey? I know it's in your home state. Do you... Dude! What? What? That's crazy! Hold on. FNAF, New Jersey. Pizzeria based on Five Nights at Freddy's game? What? It's coming to North Jersey? What? It's like an hour away from me? Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a fictitious restaurant in the Five Nights at Freddy's video game series, will soon be a real place to eat, play games, and be entertained. The immersive pizzeria attraction based on the franchise is coming to the American Dream Entertainment / retail complex in Bergen County. A spokesperson said that the attraction will be the world's first permanent immersive restaurant experience tied to the franchise. Scott Games will help adapt the popular video game concept into an immersive attraction. For years, fans of Five Nights at Freddy's have imagined what it would be like to step inside Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and we're thrilled to have been selected to finally bring that world to life only at American Dream. Customers will be able to step inside Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, play arcade games, dine, watch an animatronic show, and go behind the curtain to survive horror-inspired multiplayer game experiences. The attraction will be fast, casual dining experience and include 2 animatronic stage shows featuring Freddy and the Fazbear Band on the main stage, along with Foxy the Pirate and Pirate Cove. The only way this experience succeeds is if it's created by a team that know Five Nights at Freddy's inside and out. The animatronic show has to be authentic. The food has to be high quality. We're not building the set to look like Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. We're building Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. This experience will immerse longtime fans in the world they imagined for years. What? Dude, I'll go to Jersey. I'll do a road trip to Jersey. That's incredible. It's not. It's permanent. I really hope it does well. What? I want to go. Literally, my friend who voiced the phone guy. Oh my god, I remember that. DM'd me about it and says is already planning to visit New Jersey with me to go. Dude, I want to go. I'm gonna keep my eye on that. I'm gonna plan. I could make that trip. Oh my god, I gotta tell everyone. That'd be so cool. I'm gonna send it to my brother, who is also a big FNAF fan. Whoa. Dude, I'd plan a trip to Jersey. Let's do it. Damn, that's crazy. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm so excited. Dude, if you don't know this about me, hi, I was a major FNAF kid growing up. And by FNAF kid, I mean really FNAF teenager. When FNAF came out, I love the FNAF franchise so much. It's very, very important to me, and I love it. Something tells me I'm going to get a lot of people asking me about New Jersey now, a little bit. Might ask you some questions. Oh my god. Oh, Fiona. Fiona. Do you love Freddy Fazbear's Pizza? You don't even know what a Freddy Fazbear's is. If the game's told me anything, it sounds like a bad idea. What? No. Nah, I think it's a great idea. Is that the bite of 87? Is that the bite of 2027? Guys, was that the bite of 2027? That's so good. I love it. I'm here for it. Oh my god. Woo! That's incredible. Anyway, back to fictional men. We have one more. We have one more fictional crush we gotta talk about. I cannot recommend enough not having to deal with New Jersey's roads by taking Amtrak instead. That's so true. That's very, very true. I will look into that. Noted. Duly noted. But anyway, we have one more fictional crush to talk about. And it really shouldn't be surprising who this last one is. If you've been here at all, you should know who this is. Yes, B is a big fan of FNAF. Moves to next slide. Freddy Fazbear! What? Actually, my favorite animatronic from FNAF is Bonnie from the first game. And if I had to date any character, if I had to date any animatronic from the FNAF franchise, it would be Glamrock Freddy from Security Breach. He was on my Hear Me Out cake. Actually. Anyway, the last fictional man we're going to talk about today is the one and only. You love him. Some of you might hate him. It's Diluc from Genshin Impact. No one is surprised that he is here. Hey, what y'all know about Diluc from Genshin? Do you love him? Do you hate him? If you've lost your 50-50 to him, you probably hate him. I love him. The way he goes, way to go, superstar, makes me want to go. If you know what I mean, I don't know what you mean. I know he's from Genshin. Well, let me tell you all a thing or two about Mr. Diluc here. So, Diluc, lovely, ever amazing Diluc, was born into a very prestigious and affluent clan, the Ragnvindr clan. He is now the current owner of Don Winery, and he is one of the top alcohol makers, like in all of Teyvat, the entire world of Genshin. He is one of the top like alcohol creator and or makers and distributors. Also, thank you for the big stretch and hydrate. Thank you. So, Diluc here, my love, was not always the very stoic and serious guy that he has come to be. He was actually super lighthearted and happy as a kid. So he's good to date if you're thirsty. Diluc was super passionate about becoming a Knight of Favonius, which is a one of the, like, I don't even know how to describe it. In Mondstadt, they have their own like systems of power, and in Mondstadt, or any of the towns, they have their systems of power. In Mondstadt, that is the Knights of Favonius, and Diluc actually became the youngest person to ever hold the title of cavalry captain when he was just 14 years old, which is wild. Also, if you know anything about Genshin, you know who's the cavalry captain now. It's great. Wanted to share the news. If you want to visit New Jersey, let me know. I will happily drive through New Jersey roads for you. Oh my god, please let's chat about this. I would love to come see you. Oh my god. And go to the Frey Fazbear's Pizza. It'd be so fun. Please. So when Diluc, I think he was 18 or so. He was young. But one day he was traveling along the road with his father, Crapus, who was the former owner of Dawn Winery. And I believe they were attacked. And during the attack, his father died by using a delusion. So in Genshin, there are your visions. That's the power that all the playable characters hold. That is like an elemental power. So there's pyro, there's cryo, dendro, electro, geo. There's more. Cryo, hydro. Is that all of them? Pyro, cryo, electro, geo, dendro. I gotta think by nation. Animo. That's the first one. Animo, Mondstadt, geo. What's the geo's the second one. Inazuma is electro. Sumeru, dendro. Oh my god, this is really making me think. Fontaine, hydro. Pyro is the one after that. Natlin. Cryo.
She was a fairy.
Snezhnaya. What's the second nation called with Geo? I can't think of it. It's gone from my brain. That's like the one I know the least about. Anyway, you have your vision. You have your visions that you're given. But people who don't ever get a vision, they don't have these powers. So his dad was one of those people who never obtained a vision. So he had been given this delusion, which gives you the similar powers that you have if you have a vision. The delusion backfired and it killed his dad. After his dad basically died in his arms, Diluc was ordered to cover up the incident, act like nothing happened, and he was not going to do that. His father died in his arms and he was told to shut up about it. So because of that, he resigned from the Knights and he left his pyro vision behind, and he left. He left Mondstadt. He traveled across all the nations with the goal to avenge his father and find the creators of the delusions that killed him. And that ended up being the Fatui. There's this whole thing with the Fatui, and that it's even gotten more lore updates with Nodcry, I think, was another place the lore with Nodcry, that added to the lore of Diluc when he had basically gone after the Fatui to avenge his father. But he had been gone for years. He nearly died when battling the Fatui. He was saved by, can't think of her name, Nefer, who is a character from Nodcry. And then afterwards, he went back to Mondstadt and basically assumed the role of the leader of Dawn Winery. He still feels this sort of duty and responsibility to helping the people of Mondstadt. So he had donned this persona of the Dark Knight hero, which we see very early in the game when you're in Mondstadt. But this was a sort of vigilante position where he would protect the people of Mondstadt at night. I really like this one line that I found. It was like, Diluc became someone who must face the darkness before dawn so that others can dream. I'm like, that's really lovely. I like that line. So nowadays, Diluc is a very respected nobleman. He's been dubbed the unofficial king of Mondstadt because he is so affluent and powerful and influential. But yeah, when he's not in the wine business, he is working at Angel Share in Mondstadt, which is a bar, as a bartender. And it's funny because Diluc doesn't drink alcohol. He actually hates it. He prefers grape juice. So it's a little bit about him that he's a wealthy man, very prominent, very affluent, very influential, very powerful in both strength and influence. And he holds a big share over the alcohol industry in Teyvat. But he has a really rough past, and he has gone through his own journey of grief with losing his father. So, who wouldn't prefer grape juice to rotten grape juice? You got a point there. So, the question is, guys, would I date Diluc if he were real? And this is all assuming, I should have said this before, this is all assuming that they would date me, you know? But would I give Diluc the chance if he were a real person? Abso-fucking-lutely I would. I would absolutely date Diluc. The thing is, Diluc is my comfort character. He means a lot to me, personally, and he has been a very important character for me since I started playing Genshin in 2022. And I talked about this yesterday. I don't play Genshin anymore. I stopped playing earlier this year. It's just, I haven't had the interest of going back. Maybe one day I will, but I haven't played in a while. But when I did start playing Genshin back in 2022, I was in a really bad mental place. I was really struggling with my own grief in my life, and it was such a dark spot in my life that I didn't think I was going to see the other side of. So to have a character like Diluc who showed me that life does continue on when the person you love is gone, that you can come out the other side of your grief and you can get out of that really dark and scary place and still live a good life. That really resonated with me and really stuck with me, and it was really important for me, for where I was at that time in my life. He really did give me hope when I needed it most, and it's kind of wild to say that. And I feel like if you ask the Genshin community if they like Diluc, most of them would say no. because he is a 5-star standard character. If you are wishing for characters, you have a chance to get one of the standard characters, and that means you basically lost your gambling chance of getting the character you wanted, and you have a chance to get Diluc. Diluc was the first 5-star character I pulled. I lost my first 50-50, and I got Diluc. He was the first character I got to level 90. He was the first character I got to friendship level 10. He was the first character I triple crowned, which means that I maxed out all of his abilities. I have a signature weapon for him. I have his Red Dead of Night outfit, which is the outfit you see here. That's my preferred outfit for him. I said at the beginning of the stream, I have so much Diluc merch. I have a print of him on my wall. I have plushies of him. I have a Funko Pop of him. Diluc means a lot to me, personally. And he really is my comfort character. And he had come into my life when I really needed that character to give me hope. So, yeah. That's, like, from a personal reason, that's how much I love him. But, like, from thinking about it as would I date this character lens, even though, like, he can come across as bitter and grumpy, he really is gentle and tender and modest. He's not pompous. He's not like, I'm better than you because I'm rich and I'm stronger than you. He is so, like, relaxed, if that's the right word to use. Like, he knows he doesn't need to prove himself for people to respect him, you know? He's also been very, like, shown to be very protective and caring. Even if he has a hard time expressing it. And he has shown that he is willing and able to keep growing from his past. And a big character we see that with is Kaya. Kaya is the current cavalry captain in Genshin, and he is Diluc's adopted brother. After Diluc's dad had died, Diluc and Kaya got into a big fight where Diluc basically struck him and hurt him. He's the reason that Kaya lost his eye, and also subsequently the reason that Kaya got his cryovision is because of Diluc. So in the eyes of Kaya should hate Diluc, should see him as a monster. But over the years, we've seen them slowly kind of come back together. They're still not, like, they're not the best of friends like they were before his father died, but you can see that the love for each other is still there, and they still care about each other, and they want to keep each other safe. And I think the most recent moment we've seen that was, I can't remember what patch it was. It was with Durin's story stuff, but you go back to Mondstadt, and you actually get to fight as Diluc alongside Kaya, which is amazing. Getting to see them work together was so awesome. And it made me really happy to see them work together again. So I just really love Diluc so much. I also really liked this quote from as you are getting your friendship higher with characters, you'll learn more about them. You get more lore. And this quote was in the character story 5 for Diluc, where he says, "Never forget that the dawn will one day come." And the whole thing of things can be dark and scary right now, but dawn will come and things will be bright again and things will be okay. So, like, hold out for the dawn and things will be okay. But yeah, I would realistically date Diluc if he were an actual person. That's the thing I've come to learn with characters like Diluc and Hanzo and Aizawa is they seem grumpy and mean and reserved on the surface, but they are just characters who need love and compassion and care, and deep down they do really care about others, and they just need a little extra love. And that's something that doesn't scare me, you know? I'm not afraid to give that love to someone who needs that little bit of extra love. As long as they're not mean towards me and they're not like terrible towards me. It's okay. Everyone needs a little bit of extra love. But yeah, I would absolutely date Diluc if I could. So great. Also, just that's my favorite character right there. And I don't like, it's interesting because I kind of did this in order, not besides Aizawa, but like kind of in like a lot of these characters are newer in my life. I would say Diluc is the character that I've held on to the longest. And it's amazing that despite all these other games I've played and the fact that I don't play Genshin anymore, my favorite character still is Diluc. And that, I think it just shows like how much he means to me from like a personal standpoint, but also like that's my guy. I love him, and I don't think that's ever going to change because he means a lot to me. So a lot of characters come along and we meet new characters, but like I don't think Diluc is ever gonna not be one of my favorite characters. That's fictional husband number 1, honestly. If I had to rank them, I can't rank the others. I can only rank Diluc. That's number 1 right there. But yeah, quick recap. I'll even talk about my honorable mentions. Honorable mentions included Alhaitham, who I would not date. Gohan from the Dragon Ball series, which I would date. Mateo from Date Everything, who I would date. Neuvillette from Genshin Impact, who I would not date. And then Teddy from Date Everything, who I would date. And then the main cast, Shota Aizawa from My Hero Academia, I would date. Verso from Expedition 33, I would not date. Hanzo from Overwatch, I would date. Gale from Baldur's Gate 3, I would date. Eddie and Volt from Date Everything, I would not date. And then Diluc from Genshin Impact, I would date. So, yeah. That's all I got. That's all my fictional husbands. Do you have opinions on these fictional men? Let me know. Tell me all about them. Tell me, do you guys have fictional crushes that you love? I want to know about them. Don't bonk me. Let me love the things I love. That's all I got. What y'all think? We impressed? Are we shocked at all? You shouldn't be. This is pretty typical for me. I will say Hanzo being in there was a recent addition, which I very much love. Hanzo's great. Diluc seems like a sensible choice. If you didn't have a cooldown, I would bonk again. Man, I speak my truth and this is how I'm treated. That's a bummer. That do be a bummer. But yeah, I'm really glad I did this. This was so much fun. Oh, let me do big stretch. Big stretch. Oh my gosh, that felt great. One of mine is Rimuru Tempest. Ooh, I don't know who that is. I can look it up though. Let me... Yeah, do you all have fictional crushes? I want to know. Who is this? Ooh, Oh, the time I got reincarnated as a slime. I think I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen maybe like the first season. It's been years. I think I saw the first season of this show. It's pretty good. Nice. Nice. I like it. I did also in the Discord, I did create a Google form that I'll reshare. But if y'all have any fictional crushes that you want me to react to, after my rebrand, I'm gonna do a reacting to your fictional crushes stream. So feel free to share them. It'll be great. I want to know all the unhinged ones. It'll be so funny. I'm aromantic, but my I guess is Jakurai from Hypnosis Microphone. Ooh. I want to look up this character. I don't know that one. That doesn't sound familiar. Oh, that's a beautiful character. Wait, let me look at this. Cause I don't even know what this is. Oh, interesting. Is this like an anime about like, or like a game about like idol groups? That's what it looks like. There's a manga, there's an anime, there's games, there's a stage play, there's a movie. There's so many things. But is this like different idol groups? Ooh. It's a Japanese multimedia project based off rap and hip hop. Characters were designed by Idea Factory. Interesting. 6 divisions representative groups participation in the division rap battle. Oh, interesting. He's a clinical psychologist who tries to overthrow fascism on the side. Fuck yeah. Overthrow fascism. I love it. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I remember I had done like a slideshow with one of my friends at one point, and we were talking about all our fictional crushes, so I did reference that when I remade this. I was like, damn. My taste in characters, I made that years ago, is definitely changed. One of those, the government banned weapons, so disputes are handled by the writer's special interest settings. Ooh, interesting. Nice. I like that. I also haven't watched like a ton of anime. I've been recently watching Fruits Basket, which has been really good. I don't watch a ton of anime. I've seen I say all of, but there's like 12 episodes. Yuri on Ice, Your Lie in April is my favorite anime. Makes me cry every time. Fruit Basket's a good one. I just finished watching season 1 with my friends, and we gotta start season 2 soon. I've also watched Apothecary Diaries. I need to actually get back and watch that. I watched /read the manga up till season 3 of My Hero, and then I watched the first couple episodes of Vigilantes because of Aizawa. I actually have, I don't remember what volume it is, but I have 2 of the Vigilantes manga that is heavily focused on Aizawa. So, love that.